Today, we're diving into something totally mind-bending. We are stepping right into this incredible space where cutting-edge quantum physics perfectly aligns with ancient Islamic cosmology. It's an intersection we rarely stop to think about, but honestly, once you see it, it completely changes how you look at reality itself. We're going to break down the actual layers of existence, pulling from both modern science and texts that are literally 1,400 years old. So let's get right into it.
I want you to pause for just a second and imagine something. Have you ever wondered if this universe, the one we see and touch, is really all there is? I mean, what if there are thousands or even millions of other dimensions surrounding us right now? Realities that are happening at this exact moment, layered right on top of our own, yet completely hidden from our eyes. Today's explainer isn't just about abstract physics, and it's not just theology either. It's a journey into the wild, incredible parallels between the two.
Okay, let's really dive into this. On one side, we've got the framework presented in the Quran. Specifically, Surah Talaq, chapter 65, verse 12, mentions that God created 7 heavens and of the earth the like of them. So that gives us 14 layers in total. The verse also mentions that the divine command actually descends through them. Now, let's flip over to modern string theory. Top theoretical physicists, guys like Brian Greene and Michio Kaku, they propose that our universe is actually made up of vibrating strings existing across 10 or 11 dimensions. The fact that the 14 layers described in ancient scriptures so shockingly mirror the 10 to 11 dimensions of advanced quantum physics, that is absolutely staggering. I mean, the numbers are incredibly close.
To ground all this abstract physics into something a bit more real, let's talk about modern quantum computers. You see, a normal computer bit operates in binary, right? It's either a 0 or a 1. But a qubit, which is what powers quantum computing, can actually be both 0 and 1 at the exact same time. Mathematically, it's existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously. To put that into perspective, let's say you sit down to read a book, and it takes you an hour. A qubit, using something called quantum entanglement, could theoretically process that exact same book in just 4 seconds flat. It just proves that at a quantum level, particles view space and time entirely differently than we do.
And this totally different flow of time connects to another incredible point. Listen to this verse from Surah As-Sajdah 32:05. It states, "A day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning." Now, when Albert Einstein introduced his theory of relativity, he proved that time is an absolute. It's relative. The faster you move, or the higher the gravitational pull, the slower time moves. It is just awe-inspiring to realize that the exact concept of time dilation, this relativity of time based on your dimensional perspective, was documented 1,400 years ago in this specific text. No way, right?
Let's move forward and see how this all builds up. We're going to use an ascending ladder structure here. To really grasp these higher dimensions, we first need to rapidly guide ourselves through the lower, physical ones, just to build some momentum. We all know 1D, 2D, and 3D. But let's look at them through a quantum lens.
So in the first dimension, you only have length. Imagine a bug living on a tiny thread. It can only move forward or backward. It can't turn left, it can't jump up, it's just a line. Scientifically, we actually see 1D structures in the flow of electrons through a single wire. Now, if we add width, we get the second dimension. Think of a flat sheet of paper or the famous concept of flatland. Creatures in a 2D world have absolutely zero concept of height. If a 3D object like a sphere passed through their world, they wouldn't see a sphere at all. They'd just see a line magically growing and shrinking. They are completely blind to the dimension right above them. And then we arrive at the third dimension, our physical reality, length, width, and height. It feels so incredibly solid to us, doesn't it? But here's the catch. Even our familiar 3D world is basically an illusion. Down at the quantum level, if an atom were the size of a giant football stadium, its nucleus would just be the size of a single pea sitting right on the 50-yard line. The rest? It's entirely empty space. So our solid, everyday existence is actually a deeply layered, mostly empty construct. Now hold on, because there is a massive conceptual shift as we enter the fourth dimension. Here, we add time, but not time as a ticking clock on your wall. In the fourth dimension, time is combined with space, meaning it can be viewed and navigated just like a physical object. Imagine holding an entire novel in your hands. You, the reader, can see the beginning, the middle, and the end all at once. A fourth-dimensional being would see your entire past, present, and future laid out simultaneously, exactly like that book.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of angels in Islamic theology. According to the texts, angels are created from nur, or light,
which we can actually understand scientifically as pure electromagnetic energy. Surah Al-Araf 7:27 says, "He and his host see you from whence you do not see them," because they operate in a 4D framework, completely outside our physical time constraints. They can observe our timeline from above, just like we can look down at a flat 2D drawing on a piece of paper. Elevating up to the fifth dimension, we enter the realm of parallel choices. Let's say today you make a big choice. Timeline A, you decide to become a doctor. Timeline B, you decide to become an engineer. Now, in our 3D world, you can only experience one of these paths. But in the fifth dimension, every decision you make splits into equally real, simultaneous timelines. A being in the fifth dimension could literally walk between these different timelines as easily as you and I walk from the kitchen to the living room. To scientifically validate this 5D concept, we just have to look at the famous Schrödinger's cat experiment. You know the one. You have a cat in a sealed box with a device that might or might not release poison. Well, quantum mechanics dictates that until you open that box to actually observe it, the cat is simultaneously alive and dead. Both states exist at once. It's a beautiful representation of how infinite possibilities exist concurrently in higher dimensions, right up until they are collapsed into a single reality by an observer.
The sixth dimension takes this even further. This is the ultimate multiverse hub. Up here, you aren't just accessing different choices from your own timeline, you're accessing completely different origin points. You could traverse infinite lifetimes across entirely different universes. This actually perfectly mirrors the final research papers of Stephen Hawking, where he mathematically explored how parallel universes connect and branch off from these incredibly complex higher dimensional hubs.
So, the crucial point here is, how is this incredible vastness managed? Well, enter the seventh dimension. The Islamic text refers to the Arsh-e-Ilahi, which is commonly translated as the divine throne. However, conceptually, we're not talking about a physical chair. It represents the master seventh dimensional vantage point. It's the ultimate level from which every single universe, every timeline, and every possible outcome is simultaneously visible and controlled. It's like the grand library of all existence.
Above that, we find the eighth dimension. Think of this as the ultimate master control room of reality. Down here in 3D, we're strictly bound by gravity, the speed of light, and the arrow of time. But in the eighth dimension, those rigid laws of physics become completely flexible. The distinction between energy and matter entirely dissolves. Beings or entities at this level exist purely outside of time and physical constraint. They're essentially operating the very mathematical code that dictates how the lower universes behave.
By the time we reach the ninth dimension, physical form is just completely gone. Think of the number pi. At the ninth dimension, existence is pure mathematics. There's no hunger, no body, no space. It is pure consciousness, a flawless, infinite mathematical symphony. Its existence as a pure idea, much like how numbers exist universally without ever needing a physical shape to be real.
And now we reach the climax, the 10th dimension. This is known as the Sifar Nukta, or the 0 point. This is the singular origin where existence and non-existence actually meet. Scientifically speaking, this is the exact microscopic point of the Big Bang, the singularity from which all strings, all dimensions, and all universes exploded outward. Theologically, this is the exact moment of the divine command kun, which simply translates to be. One single microscopic point holding the potential of absolutely everything.
There is an incredibly profound quote from Islamic history by Hazrat Ali that tethers this highly advanced quantum concept right back to a simple linguistic mark. He stated that everything in the heavens and the earth is in the Quran, and the essence of the Quran is in its opening chapter, encapsulated in the phrase, Bismillah. The essence of that phrase is in its first letter, Ba, and the essence of Ba is in the single dot beneath it. He concluded, and I am that dot. It's just a stunning, ancient articulation of the 10th dimensional singularity, that unified zero-point source of all creation.
This explainer has taken us from strings of vibrating energy all the way up to the divine throne of existence. It really shows us that science and spirituality are often just using different vocabularies to describe the exact same awe-inspiring reality. So I want to leave you with this one lingering question to think about today. If your physical body is just an illusion of mostly empty space trapped down here in the third dimension, what dimension does your timeless, observing soul actually belong to? Really think about that. See you on the next explainer.